And then as a measure of class participation, and I kind of like the way Craig was saying he did it, but I basically give 1 point if they click in at all. And I don't mess around with even giving them right answers, wrong answers, because I just really want them to use the clickers and learn through the use. So I'm not so concerned if they give right or wrong answers. But I do give one extra exercise during the semester. So I just randomly pick 6, and I score 6 of them. And that way it keeps them coming to class because they don't know when I'm going to do a clicker exercise. But if they miss one, it's without penalty. And like you said, if they give me a really good excuse, then I give them the point. I'm not going to argue over a clicker point. So clicker, they count in the end 5 out of 100 course points. And then you could use them as a pre and post test, and then you can look at the correlations, of course, between the pre-test answers and the post-test answers. So if you want to try this, I have a couple slides here on the epidemiology of mumps, which I was hoping people wouldn't know too much about. I'm trying to pick a topic. Now, the outbreak of mumps that began during the last winter, 2005-2006, began in what month? And that was actually in December of '05. By the time the outbreak subsided, Iowa, who had the most cases, had how many cases confirmed? Well, they actually had over 1,000 cases, and you can see by this map that they had 1,921. But we were hit pretty hard in Wisconsin and Illinois as well. The majority of cases in Iowa occurred among people ages what? What age range? And it was 18 to 24-year-olds, which is why we were really worried at the universities. And this shows you the age ranges, 18 to 24, and then right around there. The mumps strain responsible for the outbreak is what genotype? This is not a lot of people pay attention to the genotype, but it was G, so that's kind of easy, genotype G. It was actually the same strain that had the severe outbreak in England the year before. The prodrome of mumps is characterized by what symptoms? It is all of those, really, the prodrome, which is before you really know the person has the mumps. The nonspecific symptoms of the prodrome are typically followed by what? % have the correct answer there, the swelling of the parotid glands, and you've probably seen somebody with mumps, but it's pretty pronounced how swollen the parotid glands are there underneath the chin. So now let's try the post-test. The majority of cases in Iowa occurred among people of what ages? See if I have it set up right now. See, now we have 100% with the correct answer. Yeah. Now, this is really encouraging to students, though, to see, to see what they've learned. And then the mumps strain that was responsible for the outbreak, and then showing different bells and whistles again from the program. And then everybody got the correct answer now. So it's very effective. Another thing that is very effective is if they are all over the board the first time and you ask them to talk to each other and they talk about it, and then the second time it's really amazing. And then, of course, the demographic slides are nice if you really want to know something. And if you know the demographics of an illness, for example, you can ask the students like personal questions about incidence of an illness or whatever. I don't know if this will work in here, but it's such a small group, but have you ever had the mumps? Yes or no? Most people have not had the mumps. And then how old are you? If you have a big group, you know, you generally see that the older generation had the mumps and the younger people did not. But I don't know how it's going to fall out here. Didn't really fall out that way, but. And then the icebreaker slides. This is similar to things that you do with your initial slide. You can also use icebreakers with analogies in that. So you could do spirit is to rover as Cassini is to what. And, you know, you could do this as one of your check-in slides, something like this. Yeah. So they work too.
They're part of the program, though, so I went with something else.
And this is a group that's very more, you know, much more well-versed than my students would be about something like this, because they wouldn't have a clue, I don't think. And then I just want to show you some of the data from the students that I've had who have used the clickers. I'm just trying to see why. Yeah, I think that's right. Let me see if it's right. The majority favor the clicker use as a review of the course content as a post-test. I'm wondering why it's coming up with a different graph than what I have on my. Is this the right data? 51%. This is not coming up with the right data, so.
On page 14, that's right.
It should be 46%.
Oh,
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. How come we're missing? Yeah, we're missing some slides, right? Here it is. I'm sorry. I don't know how it skipped all those slides, but anyway, now we'll do it in order.
You may have had a branching slide in there that you didn't mean to drag.
I must have, huh? And that never happened before. Oh, I apologize.
We did so well on Cassini that you didn't need to explain it, and so it jumped.
Yeah, but it jumped way too far. But anyway, you're right. It must have branched wrong.
I've been burned by those. That's why I don't use splitting anymore.
Yeah, that's funny because I know I changed all the numbers on those. But anyway, okay, thank you. I get it now what I did. Now that the semester is over, I asked the students what their attitude toward the clickers was. And this is what I was trying to say. 97% had a very positive attitude. And, you know, it's amazing that you can get these results even when you're not too good with the clicker technology. And I found that that was really neat, that even though I had a lot to learn, I was still getting pretty good results. And then compared to other non-clicker classes, I asked them how they felt. And this is really amazing, too. 94% said they felt much more involved in my class than they did in other classes. Using clickers prompted me to think more deeply about the course topics. Again, 79% thought that the clickers helped them to reflect more and think more about the material. My favorite way of incorporating clickers was, and this is pretty clear, the majority favored the clicker use as a review of the content that you're going over yourself because they think it prepares them to take the test. So they definitely think that that's the best way to use them. And you could do a totally like a review session for a test or whatever. It's better to use the clickers in a variety of ways, which was interesting too. Even though they prefer it as a review, they still like the variety that I was doing with incorporating them in the lecture or other ways. So they like variety. And then clickers should be used, they thought they should be used during every class period. 68% said to use them that way. And then what effect did it have on their grades? Well, about 60% thought the clickers improved their course grades. So, like you said, it doesn't have a clear correlation actually with the exam grades, but my exam grades are not the toughest in the college anyway. So, you know, I really like to have students succeed. So, I don't really make my course so that they don't succeed. But anyway. So I think that's basically it. I would like to see the clickers, well, because I was the only one using them in the College of Nursing, they said they would like to see them used in additional nursing classes. So that's a very clear mandate to expand the technology. So that's really all I have. All right, so thank you.